Hey, this is Sam Black, and today I'm going to try Blue-Red Fairies to take advantage of the newly unbanned Ancestral Vision. Um, this deck is basically built around a format that revolves around Ancestral Vision, which I don't really think that Modern will, but there's a chance that people overreact to its unbanning, and also the removal of Iogun will drive the casting costs in the format down in general. And so what I'm trying to do is play a deck that's very good at interacting with spells that don't cost very much mana. So I have 3 Spell Snare and 4 Spell Stutter Sprite to counter my opponent's 0, 1, and 2 mana spells. And then for people who are playing more expensive spells, I have Vapor Snag, Mana Leak, and Cryptic Command. And then the fairies that I'm playing are Fairy Miscreant, Spell Stutter Sprite, Vendilion Click, and Mistbind Click. Fairy Miscreant is pretty speculative, but since I'm not playing black for Bitter Blossom, I wanted to make my Spell Stutter Sprites a little bit better, and I want to see if this is a serviceable way to do that. It's also a very reasonable fairy to champion with Mistbind Click that can potentially get me an extra card out of the exchange. And beyond that, I'm just playing Snapcaster Mages, Lightning Bolts, and an Electrolyze. And then I'm playing 23 lands with 4 Mutavaults and 1 Wandering Fumarole and 1 Mountain. That means I only have 18 blue sources, which is part of why I'm only playing 2 Cryptic Commands and have split my 4 drops toward Mistbind Clicks. In the sideboard, I have a single Goblin Dark Dwellers for the grindier matchups where casting an Ancestral Recall an extra time, an Ancestral Visions an extra time will be good, and I have buyouts on things like Vapor Snag, Lightning Bolt, and Electrolyze. 3 gut shots in the board. Basically, I think that this deck is designed to capitalize on favorable 1-for-1 mana exchanges in the early game, and then pull ahead in the late game with Ancestral Vision. And so I think that in the spots where Gut Shot lines up favorably against my opponent, it's strategically perfect for what I'm doing. So I expect it to be a higher impact card than it normally is. A couple of Shatterstorms, because Affinity should still be good and respected. I think between that and Gut Shot and just having a lot of interaction, Lightning Bolt and Electrolyze, I should be well positioned there. I have a random Vidalcan Shackles for creature matchups and a Keranos for the same kind of spots as the Goblin Dark Dwellers. And then 3 Negates, 2 Remands, and 2 Dispels for the non-creature decks and blue decks, and the Remands come in against anyone with expensive spells. Dispel is pretty self-explanatory. Some things that I'm not playing that I might consider, maybe something like Engineered Explosives or Ratchet Bomb to deal with other problem permanents, so that I'm not purely relying on Cryptic Command. Maybe just more or different counter spells, and I'm certainly keeping an eye out on Fairy Miscreant to see if it's pulling its weight. But I do think I want another fairy, and I don't think I want something like Scion of Una if I'm not playing Bitter Blossom. Glenelunda Archmage is another good and synergistic card that is looking to do something similar to what Goblin Dark Dwellers and Keranos do. Currently not going that way, but it's certainly a reasonable consideration. So anyway, this is what I'll be battling with, and I'm looking forward to seeing if this mono blue style, even if I'm splashing a couple of red cards, fairy deck is well positioned in the new Modern.